In the Impact segment tonight, if you are still not convinced the illegal immigration situation is out of control, here's another atrocity. In Pima County, Arizona, 29-year-old Manuel Perez Vasquez, an illegal immigrant from Mexico who had been deported 6 times in 3 years, badly injured a mother and her 2 young children after he rammed his SUV into their car, then left the scene. Vasquez has been charged with a felony, leaving the scene of an injury collision. Police also say he was driving while drug impaired. The names of the victims not being released, but we can tell you the children are 5 and 2 years old. The 5-year-old boy received numerous cuts to the head, and the 2-year-old girl was hospitalized as well. Apparently the kids and their mom will be okay, but they are quite shaken. Joining us now from Los Angeles, Leslie Marshall in for Kirsten Powers tonight. Here in New York City, Monica Crowley, both of Fox News analysts. So let's advance the story. Do you see any opposition, Monica, to Kate's law?
Unfortunately, Bill, I do. I do think there would be some resistance, despite the fact that it's total common sense and would be obvious justice for the victims of these illegal immigrants who commit these crimes. The resistance, I think, will come from Harry Reid, Nancy Pelosi, a lot of the Democratic leadership, and the pro-open borders, pro-amnesty lobby.
So that Reid and Pelosi, already on the run because they lost Congress the last time around, are going to stand up and say, we oppose a mandatory 5-year minimum prison sentence for a criminal alien who is deported and comes back. You really believe they have the cojones to stand up there and say that?
This is going to be a very tough political position for them to be in, but yes, I do, for
Really?
2 reasons. Number one, because the Democratic Party is moving away from, as a general position, mass incarcerations and lengthy prison sentences, period. Hillary Clinton has been on the record just in the last couple of months on this. The second thing is that it goes against the broader leftist agenda on illegal immigration.
I know it goes against it, but now we're talking very specifically about a murder of a 32-year-old, 2 little kids in a car almost killed. Do you think there's going to be opposition, Leslie?
Oh, yes, I think there's going to be opposition, and I don't think there's just going to be opposition on the left. I mean, isn't it interesting that on the left, all of those that are running for president have said they're okay with sanctuary cities, and with the exception of Donald Trump, nobody else on the right running for president's really calling them out on that.
Wait.
There are a lot of people,
we got to get specific here. So you're going to sit there and tell me that you believe a Republican politician in this country is going to oppose Kate's law?
Yes, I do believe that there will be Republicans who oppose Kate's law.
Who?
Valadao here in California. Valadao in California, Kaufman in Colorado, and other Republicans that have constituencies that are largely Hispanic and that have backed the president of the Democratic policies
I don't know those individuals.
Comprehensive immigration reform.
Look, immigration reform is fine, as we just talked with Rudy Giuliani, but you've got to stop the bloodletting now. And anybody who opposes a 5-year minimum for a criminal alien who's deported and comes back is not looking out for the folks. And that is quite clear to every sane American, no matter if they're liberal or conservative. You may be right. These crazy politicians pandering to a constituency that's ill-informed may do it. I don't believe, Monica, that a person like Reid and Pelosi are going to go out there. They won't say anything. Will they support it? Probably not. Will they actively oppose it? It's suicide, political suicide, even in San Francisco.
Well, but remember, as necessary as Kate's law is, and I do believe it is, this is a Band-Aid on the bigger problem. But the bigger problem has been festering in large part because both parties have let this go for years now. You've got an open border, and when it comes to deportations, you have a revolving door. But both of those things serve the Democratic interest because what they seek to do over the long term is flood the country, flood the zone with illegals, get them on a path to citizenship, and then get them the right to vote.
All right. We all know it's a political strategy.
This is answering your question. This is about the broader transformation of the country, which is why they don't want to go down the road.
But you have an election coming up. All right? You have independent Americans, conservative Americans aligned against the Democratic Party right now. This is going to make more independent Americans if the Republican candidate frames it properly. And you got to give Trump credit, Leslie, for you may disagree with him, but he's the guy that lit the fuse on this whole debate right now. And this is going off the charts. Believe me, this thing is going off the charts right now.
if we're going to argue specifics with what he said regarding rapists and people smuggling, did he like the conversation? I don't know. Is it connected? Yes. We also have to look at the specifics. Speaking of specifics, what about money? Who pays for it and how?
Who pays
Giving
for
more
what?
Power to the federal government is not going to go over well with a lot of the right-wingers out there who are voting, and certainly not with independents.
There isn't
in addition
one
to that,
conservative in the country
going to stop the
that's going
killing,
to oppose this.
Kate's law is not going to stop them from coming into the country. It's not going to be a deterrent. They could already be deported.
You know what?
They could be held in detention. They could be arrested, and it doesn't stop them now.
Here's what it stops. You won't see them for 5 years. Bye.
But you can't.
See you.
You can't
yes,
have somebody
you can. You can.
No, you can't.
And
have
the Constitution demands
and who's a murderer being treated the same way.
Sorry,
you can't have somebody who's a
minimum.
In the fields
That's
and a
immigration law.
Treated the same way.
5-year minimum. Listen, if you oppose this law, then you're going to have to look the people who are being killed by these people in the eye and say, I, Leslie Marshall, don't want to solve the problem. I don't think you want to be there.
That's not true.
Absolutely,
I do want
it
to solve
is.
the problem.
You have no solution to criminal aliens
coming over the border, and that law will not do it.
All right. Yes, it will. It absolutely will take them off the street and take them off the street fast. All right, ladies, good debate. Directly ahead.